We are here today with Robin Pollack, Master Gardener. Hi Robin, tell us a little about yourself and how long have you been vegetable gardening?
Hi, my name is Robin Pollack and I'm a North Fulton Master Gardener. I am looking forward to you visiting my vegetable garden, and I have been in vegetable gardening my whole life and experimenting my whole life. So these are some of the results of my labor.
How did you design your garden and make the raised beds?
So if you notice, I have 4 raised beds in my garden. They are 4 feet wide by either 4 feet long or any division. Could be 8 feet, but it's 4 feet so that I can pick the center of my garden. And I did them with raised beds for geriatric gardening by making the top row 1 row higher so I can sit and weed and garden and pick my produce.
What do you grow?
Well, in the first bed I have my Determinate tomatoes. This means that the tomatoes produce one time and then they are finished. At that point, I will do another planting of a staggered planting. In the second tomato bed, I have Indeterminate tomatoes. These tomatoes will bloom until the first frost and give us a harvest until probably October. Some of the varieties I have in the Determinate, which only bloom one time, I have some celebrities, I have some Rutgers heirlooms, I have a few patio tomatoes, and some bush Goliath. In my Indeterminate, which blooms until fall, and if you notice, they are getting very long and viney, I have red beefsteak, big boys, Cherokee purples, and several other varieties. These, of course, will bloom until the first frost, and then I will take them out to do my fall gardening.
And how do you stake up your tomatoes?
Well, I've had a very extensive experience, and I'm currently staking them with some metal stakes. Before that, I use bamboo, and I tie strings to the base so that the tomatoes can grow all the way up the vine and across. I find that this gives them each their own independent area and plenty of aeration. I also tie strings and stakes so as they grow, I can tie them up on my plant.
And
In
how,
the-
how
in
do
the-
you irrigate your garden?
Oh yes, I use drip irrigation. Usually vegetables do not like to have their leaves wet. So if you will irrigate them 1 to 2 inches a week, that's all the water they need, but you need to do it very slow and deep. Not a lot of times shallow, but 1 or 2 times very deeply watered, 1 to 2 inches.
And how much do you harvest from your vegetable beds, would you say?
Well, as you see in my tomato bed, I have red and green basil. And if you will come with me, I'll show you some of my other vegetables. We also will feed about a family of 4 all summer long, and then I have plenty to give away. Come with me and you'll see some of my other vegetables besides tomatoes. I usually keep most of my herbs in pots because they tend to grow very large and very big. Here you see I have strawberry and pineapple sage. I have sage, plain sage. I have some lavender, some rosemary, tarragon, stevia, and over here we have more. We have chives and asparagus and even an okra plant. So those 2 beds are my tomatoes, and these are the other vegetables. In this bed, I have eggplant, zucchini, and squash. As you see, I have several varieties. I have a beautiful white eggplant over here. I have the black beauties. I have the wonderful Japanese ikiban, and I have another beautiful black beauty. These are ready to eat. I planted my garden on April 15th, and we're almost at August 1st. So some of the eggplant and peppers are just now coming in, and some of the tomatoes are on their way out. I will make a succession planting where I actually take out the tomatoes that are spent and put another set of tomatoes in to get a second crop. If you follow me on the other side, you notice that I have flowers planted at the corners. These flowers are to deter bugs, and I like zinnias, but marigolds are just fine. On the other side of my garden, I have my squash and my eggplant. I have straight eggs, 8 eggplant, and I have lots of squash. On this side of my garden, I have my cucumbers. Oh, this one looks like it's ready to eat, and this is called a straight 8. I also have pickling cucumbers so that I can make pickles and they don't get as large. In addition, I have my beans. I have yellow wax beans and I have French green beans down here. You notice that I put a fish net up to train the cucumbers to go up the vine, to train the beans to go up the vine, instead of sprawling all over the bed because I have a limited space. On the other side of my net, fish net, are my peppers. Some of the cucumbers are still growing and come through. But on this side, we have wonderful peppers that our family loves. We have shishito, we have serrano, we have giant marconi, we have habanero, and several other varieties of peppers. We also have beans that have come through and gone on this side.
You mentioned the flowers. How else do you deal with pests?
Well, pests are a big problem in the garden. And the easiest way to deal with pests is to come out nightly, maybe with a glass of wine, and inspect your garden and turn the leaves over, because the best line of defense is catching it early. If that doesn't work, and of course many garden vegetables have specific bugs that like them, then I go for organics. Neem oil or insecticidal soap will do it. But if you use any kind of chemical, please, please, please read the directions. More is not better, and you need to use just the right amount for your problem.
So, how did you learn to be such a great vegetable gardener, and what recommendations do you have for other beginning vegetable gardeners?
Well, the way I started was experimenting. Practice, practice, practice. Every year I tried something new, and every year I got different results. I've tried square foot gardening, where you put each vegetable in its own little square foot. I've tried expanded gardening, vertical gardening, and you know what? All of them work. So depending on whether you have a plot in the ground, raised beds, or you just have a pot of vegetables on your patio, you can have fabulous vegetables for your whole family all summer long. As a beginning gardener, all you need are 3 things: sun, water, and good dirt. Your plants will thank you for it, and they will be happy. So the most important thing for a beginning gardener is just get started. You'll love the rewards of the garden you get. Thank you. If you like this, please subscribe to North Fulton Master Gardeners with an S on our YouTube channel, on Twitter, Facebook, northfultonmastergardeners.org, and we'd like to see you back here again for the next tour. Thank you. Have a great day.